103 for Miramar College. Our group is presenting on the Winecoff Hotel fire. Group members are Ryan Holt, James Adamson, Brian Ortiz, Colt Augustus, and Makai Adams. Some brief history and construction. The deadliest hotel fire in the American history occurred on December 7th, 1946 in downtown Atlanta, when 119 people had lost their lives in this fire. The Winecoff Hotel opened at the end of 1913, and it was the tallest building in the city at that time. The hotel was named after William Winecoff, who also had died in the fire. The hotel was claimed to be fireproof by Winecoff, and the hotel was 15 stories tall and made out of material like brick and stone. The city's fire department was not well enough equipped to fight this fire when it happened. The fire department's ladders could only reach the 8th floor of the hotel, and the hotel itself was not equipped with a sprinkler system or any fire escapes, and this is the main reason why the fire was so deadly. The fire broke out around 3 in the morning, and there were 280 guests staying in the hotel at the time. At around 3:15 a.m., a fire was first reported on the 3rd floor by a hotel staff member. It was at this time that the fire was believed to have been started by a guest dropping a cigarette on a mattress, which is located on the 3rd floor of the building. With only a single stairway in the building, the fire had spread rapidly, making it even more difficult to be put out by firefighters on scene. The reason to why the fire had spread so quickly was due to an open stairway with no sprinklers or alarms and plenty of flammable furniture. As far as the material and occupancy issues, most of the materials used on the Winecoff Hotel had steel structure, clay with stone on upper and lower floors, with bricks intervening both floors. Structural clay tile beyond the exterior facing, which was supposed to be fireproof. There were 194 rooms in the Winecoff Hotel, but with 285 guests were already registered. Now, the fire tragedy and how it was handled after. The fire's point of origin was on the 3rd floor in the west hallway. It was believed that this cigarette was dropped on the combustible material, like the mattress, and it was reported by the bellboy, who was called up to the 5th floor to help a victim that was trapped. The call to the fire department was made at 3:42, at which point the fire had already been rapidly growing, and there was no chance of survival on any floor above the fire's origin. With no fire alarm alerting the emergency, many hotel guests were awoken to flames outside their doorway. The open transoms, otherwise known as the windows, between the rooms and the corridors admitted fresh air for new combustion, eventually creating a fluke-like effect with the fire climbing to all but the top 2 floors. The Atlanta Fire Department had mustered 385 firefighters, 22 engine companies, and 11 ladder trucks, 4 of which were aerial ladder units at the scene. Of the 304 guests in the hotel that night, 119 had perished, about 65 were injured, and 120 were rescued uninjured. The fire investigation concluded guests opening windows is the primary reason of fueling the fire. After the fire, between $3 to $4 million in claims were brought against the hotel's owners, but insurance awards had only totaled $350,000. A national conference on fire prevention was convened in 1947 at the direction of the U.S. President Harry S. Truman in response to the LaSalle and Winecoff fires. The fire had highlighted the problems associated with unprotected stair openings, which provided paths for the spread of smoke in the fire at the Winecoff, simultaneously preventing the use of stairs for the escape. Emphasis in building design and construction was changed from the protection of property. The Winecoff's completely fireproof statement on its stationery was accurate insofar as it was confirmed to the building structure to place primary emphasis on the protection of life, with the property protection subordinated to that goal. The Winecoff fire led to the incorporation of wartime research into the flammability of burning materials into code requirements and design standards, recognizing the existence of flashover as a means of fire propagation. This picture below is an example of some of the high school students who had perished in the Winecoff fire. Some lessons learned and considerations to think about. Even though the Winecoff fire is considered to be the worst hotel fire in history, it led to new and lasting fire safety standards for many hotels and other public buildings, such as self-closing fire doors and new building codes that require multiple fire exits. Since the doors were not self-closing, when people had ran out of the doors and left the door open, it fed the fire with new air. Most of the guests were not aware that there was a fire until smoke filled their rooms. The hotel had also lacked many fire escapes, sprinkler systems, and had an open stairway which fueled the fire even further. The speed that the fire spread vertically still has fire experts baffled to this day. The fire was believed to be over 1,500 degrees as it melted light bulbs, twisted metal doors, and cracked porcelain bowls. Every ladder and life net was completely employed in the area to catch guests as they jumped out of the windows. This picture here shows some of the aerial ladders that were employed to reach the lower floors. In conclusion, this fire could have been made survivable with the use of an active fire alarm and without the use of highly combustible materials inside of the structure. From this tragic fire, the world has learned how important fire escapes are and how deadly unprotected stair openings can lead to be when toxic smoke is added to the equation. This is a great video to watch, starting at 2 minutes, going until 2 minutes and 56 seconds on the combustion process of the fire. That is the end of our presentation, and thank you for viewing.